Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Before and Afterthought with your shit, as always, Queen Crazy K. I'm gonna do this podcast that is at least gonna be a half an hour. If it's longer than that, that's great. As long as we mention that half an hour mark is what the goal is and what we're trying to do. Um, this is gonna be a podcast over the last 2 weeks, and then I will be making another podcast my next video and my next episode for this last week, and then I'm gonna be doing a little bit of head. Usually I do like either a half an hour podcast over the last week that's happened, or I do a double knockout that you do where I combine them into one as long as it reaches that hour mark. If it's longer, great. That's the bottom line. That's what the main goal is. If I do a triple threat, over the last 3 weeks and, kind of swivel them together, then I do that sometimes, or I do them into bits and pieces, where I break them down into parts, into different situations, but still all into one episode, and or it's still different episode, but same video. But in this case, the goal is do a half an hour within this podcast. If longer, great. That's happened 2 weeks ago. So this is a podcast episode covering 2 weeks ago, and then I will be doing another episode and another video for this last week. So, and I'll also be dropping my Friday Night SmackDown video tonight, and plus tonight's Friday Night SmackDown predictions as well. So, with that being said, thank you guys who already been watching, liking, following, subscribing on both Instagram and YouTube, and supporting me in my channel and videos and updates and things like that. That's been going on, and also inviting the rest of you who haven't already to follow, like, and subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. Queen Crazy K, totally free, will support my channel, and you will get updates and things like that, like what I just got through talking about and stuff like that. With that being said, this video, let's jump right into it and automatically get into the conversation. I already started to. I'm so excited. See, so with that being said, this podcast is, a little bit behind. Obviously, I explain and things like that I've been doing. I like to talk about me and my life and what I've been doing before I jump into it. Giving you little details day by day, like me and all that stuff. So, as you know, I've got a new job at Amazon, and now I'm moving on from that job to another job where I will be working at 360, where I sell like Jordans at Nike's clothing and shoes. I start there Monday morning, and I've had my 1-year-old baby cousin. He just turned one. His birthday over this last weekend. As you see, I got new glasses over this last weekend, a new hat over this last weekend. Wearing Rey Mysterio to support our 3-time United States champion, Hall of Famer, legendary. He's done it all. Biggest little man in WWE history. I've had all his collections of different, when he had the mist on his mouth, when he's had different masks, when he's been unmasked, in different situations. World Heavyweight Champion, Royal Rumble winner, 3-time United States Champion, current United States Champion now, first ever 2023 Hall of Famer, legendary, the biggest little man, guy that inspired me growing up as one of my top favorite guys, and I got 5 of them. But Rey Mysterio is the top 3, along with John Cena and Randy Orton, who all started about the same time too. And then Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns I've put on that same category as my favorite superstars of all time. I talk about them all the time in my podcast and so highly of them. There's nothing bad to say about them. As far as the athletic career go, it's just amazing and mind blowing, and the reason why people like me are inspired to be a superstar and why we keep coming back for more. So there's nothing more to say except that he deserves. No disrespect to Estimo, he did a great job, running LWO, being former champion, and it's really about his end game to his LWO team, to SmackDown. But I really want it what it is now. 3-time United States champion Rey Mysterio, who's had so many great things and accomplishments that he deserves it. He earns it. He's put a hell of a lot into this business over the years and over the last few months that he's still hanging on SmackDown and within Raw before that. So I would want nothing more than my guy, Rey Mysterio, to be champion. So, and can't wait. Hopefully you can see him tonight on SmackDown. What's nice, he's been on the Grayson Riley show last week with a little bit of a celebration from LWO, like Eskimo right there by his side, celebrating his championship range as the United States champion right now, and of course Grayson Waller trying to poke like he's done. He's done it with John Cena and took an attitude adjustment. He's done it with Edge and even earned Edge's respect, even though he came up strong in that match. And now he's done it with Rey Mysterio. Grayson Waller is not afraid to speak what's on his mind to your face as he's running that show. But also, Rey Mysterio is not afraid to show he is the biggest little man in WWE history and why he is the United States champion if he has to put you in your place. So maybe we'll see Grayson Waller versus Rey Mysterio for the United States championship belt tonight in a singles action. Maybe. That's my SmackDown prediction already. I'm already jumping the guns and getting to SmackDown prediction for tonight because I was so hyped about it. You'll hear me talk about it more because I was going to do this last week, but it's obviously a podcast before SmackDown tonight, just so that I'm not behind this time. I'm doing a video from behind over 2 weeks, and then my next video will be a little bit of ahead for this past week. As you know, I'm doing that podcast, so the next time you'll see me doing a podcast will be over the next week. So that's why I'm doing that. But I'll still show my SmackDown video. And like I just told you, a SmackDown prediction right there. United States Champion Rey Mysterio to reign as such over Grayson Waller. And of course, I didn't want to do the podcast today. I didn't want to do it yesterday. So I ended up doing it today. Got myself together. As you know, the passing away of Bray Wyatt, another member of the Bray Wyatt family, the Wyatt Squad. 3 and now 2 are gone with the passing of Brody and now the passing of Bray Wyatt, former WWE champion. Uncle Howdy, Fowie Wowie. Worked with Alexa Bliss and with the Howie, and then Uncle Howdy was Bianca Belair. Had an altercation as the Wyatt family with John Cena, been in there with Randy Orton and Finn Balor with the Demon versus, to see which one was supernatural. There's not many guys that come along that are supernatural like Bray Wyatt, like our legend, Hall of Famer, the Boogeyman, or the Freak even, now Finn Balor isn't doing this Demon version anymore. He's Finn Balor now with this Judgment Day crew. So that's really sad news to hear over the passing of Bray Wyatt that I, was on Instagram and then just got like a breaking news on it. And I was really upset yesterday about it because I really liked Bray Wyatt. I am a fan of Supernatural and I am a fan of his. And I think that tonight on SmackDown, in honor and respect of him, that the whole SmackDown roster should come out on stage and hold lanterns for Bray Wyatt, do a 10 seconds of silence in honor of him. And, of course, everyone's going to have their flashlights out and celebrate him. And Michael Cole and Corey Graves have been commentators for, a few years now with Bray Wyatt in the ring and as a competitor, as a superstar, including the whole Wyatt family, and they was all still there. So, with that being said, giving them respects to him, and then, of course, they should do a tribute video in honor of him. I think that would be really nice and really great. I already gave the love and the respect, and shout out goes out to his family and his closest friends that know him personally as well, that, you think you're doing well, and he's coming back, ready for a return back in the ring, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. So that is really sad to hear and unfortunate, and all the respect goes out to the family friends that know him personally. Of course, people like myself are big fans of him. So I want to think that as a condition that I think that's what they should do on to opening of SmackDown, tribute to him in honor of him. And with that being said, I think Rey Mysterio should remain United States champion against Grayson Waller. I think he's really calling for a match. He really wants that singles action with him by poking, at him and saying this and that about him. That's his way of saying, hey, I want to get in the ring with you and I want to scrap with you. So, that being said, that is what I think the main goal is that Grayson Waller wants to do. So, now backing it up a little bit, when I go back to 2 weeks ago, getting a little bit of ahead of myself into this coming week and this last week and mixing it kind of all up in together because it's like news that needs to be talked about, that needs to be addressed immediately because unfortunate and then things that I keep going and speak that, hey, I want this nap tonight too, and things like that. So I will jump back. Well, I was talking about 2 weeks ago. This is a 2 weeks ago video. I would do, I could combine the podcasts together, like I've done before, but remind that it's two different episodes. Or I could just break them up into videos. So let's go over 2 weeks ago, celebrating the Cloud Pink that I wanted to mention of Ariana Grande because you guys know I'm a big fan of her. I'm her number one fan. Cloud Pink dropped by Ariana Grande. I will show you the video and my collections that I want to talk about. That I have all of them. I got her very first Ari by Ariana Grande. I've had the little ball one, kind of like this one right here, except for it was a pink one. It had the little ball. I'm not sure where the little ball went, so I've got Ari by Ariana Grande, her first perfume that she created that came out and that she's done. And I remember she's in limo doing a video with them with their dog Toos, and it was awesome. It was amazing to watch it, honored and celebrated. Good things like that happening around here. And this one, I think, even though the lid's not off, you can still smell it because that's how strong this is. But if I take the lid off and I snort some, just a little bit like this. I'm going to spray this in different spots. Rub that in a little bit so it kind of, this stuff is expensive, strong, comes a long way being, obviously Ariana Grande. And that even though it's her first perfume that she did, it still is on the high side of like expensive, like $60 if you want to call that cheap. This one kind of, it smells like more of a mist. See, I got the Ari by Ariana Grande. The box is up here. I don't know if you can see that. That's I think your next one. Let's back it up with this a little bit. See this box right here. I got her Ariana Grande, the actual bottle with the puff on it, with the little puff ball, is actually in that box. And I remember that commercial with the roll. I remember the one when she was actually selling it. There was two different ones because it was like her first one. So that one smells like, the body sprays almost smells like sweet, kind of tangy. So I got that, and I also have the body. I also have the mist that comes along with it. And I also have the lotion, which is over there because it's empty. Lotion really smooths out your skin. Hair mist doesn't work for my hair. I just had to get it because there's Ariana Grande's. Perfume really smells good. Smells almost like a vanilla, I want to say. And then we have Sweet Like Candy. I got the box right here for that one. You can probably see that one a little bit. This one smells like strawberries. Yeah, I'm getting like a strawberry smell from that one. It's exactly what it says, Sweet Like Candy, like those strawberry hard candies with the goo in it. And it just says strawberry on the package. That's what it kind of smells like right there. Now these ones are tall bottles because, like I said, the actual ball of the Ari one is in that box. The actual ball that comes along with it is actually in this one, Sweet Like Candy. And I got a cloud one. Now this one I got from Rose. I got from, because I didn't get the actual box of it when it first came out. But this one is the one that she made, the cloud one in honor of, like, it will be a rainbow one that you see on a cloud for, gays, lesbians, transgender. Shout out to that as well. That you can be free of who you want to be. You can be happy. Gay means happy, and God wants all of us to be happy and all of us to feel loved by Him, no matter who we are or what we make. And that's why, sent His only Son Jesus to die on the cross for our sins. If you're gay, if you're straight, lesbian, and if transgender, it doesn't matter. You have the freedom to do that and to be who you are and feel loved and feel cared for and be happy. And that's what He wants to do. It does not mean you will go to hell for being a certain way. You can go to a Christianity church and still be gay and not be like violent in some kind of code or whatever. So this one, I really like this one a little bit better than the other ones. I like all of them, of course, but this one, it smells kind of like this one right here, this Axe, the 5 clone I got for John Cena. I really like the red spice one, but they're both about empty because I use them so often. I like the blue and the red spice infused from John Cena. I gotta order a couple of more before they run completely out. And these are Ariana Grande ones. I usually keep them in the box as they are because I just want them for collections and use like just a little pinky spray day by day so it lasts. Of course, I have these ones. If I were to use like the Thinking Next one, that would be the next one. I kind of skipped over the Moonlight one. I don't have the box for this one. It's over there. This one is like a lavender. That's why I'm more of smelling it than spraying it. This is a lavender, like when you want to go soak or take a bath after you had a long day and your muscles are sore, you kind of want to soak in that. They have the bubbles that you can get clean, and also it makes your body relax. Or they have the actual salt, then it smells like that lavender, like a flower sort of one. This one, the box I was talking about that you probably seen right here when I was doing this, the Thinking Next one. And obviously you had where Ariana Grande is Thinking Next song broke the record, broke the internet when the music video came out, honoring all the would be Hall of Fame and legendaries of acting in this video and being inspired by that, inspiring the rest of us who may not know what it is or who they are, and doing that. And you can even smell in the lid. This one's more like a coconut smell. This is like a coconut sweet. It's got a smell like pineapple-ish. So those are like the collections that I have, and I like my favorite one out of the collections that I have would have to be the cloud one because I really like that blue axe smell. As you guys, I use blue axe. It smells really good. I use the red spice. It smells really good. I have a JLo one up here. I have a Rihanna and a Beyonce in New York and a Skull one. I have some like off brands like Dollar Tree ones. Once those are up, I can use my really good ones. So that way, when I use the really good ones and the cheap ones, I can have other cheap and really good ones to replace it. That's like exactly the same because these ones are special. Like Mariana Grande one, those ones are special. John Cena one, I've had to use the John Cena one quite frankly. That's why it's almost empty out of this one more than that. And I'm like, well, if I end up emptying out the blue and red one of the John Cena ones, I can always have two when they're empty to replace them as well as my Ariana Grande ones. But I want them for collections because they're very special. So that's why I got like these bottles. I'm like, hey, I can use now the Ariana Grande perfumes in the bottles like daily, and then I know that I have the boxes. Once these bottles are gone of it, I have the boxes. I can still be using her perfume without running out. And same with the John Cena ones. They really smell good. I really like the coconut one too. Reminds me like when my grandparents they went on a trip to Hawaii and they picked up this. It's in a bag because it's a piece. This is a piece of the lava from Hawaii. That is one of my dream places to go to Hawaii. My grandparents got to visit there. Got a piece of that from the lava. They gave it to me as a Christmas present when they went there. Like I don't know how long ago it was that they went. Probably a really long time ago. They used to go on vacation trips all the time and stuff. So, you had 22 kids raised in a house, and it wasn't even their own kids that they were having in their house. So, definitely went on a lot of camping trips and church camping trips and trips itself. Like went over to Florida with Disney World and Lake Otoboji. I really liked that one by the beach, nice quiet space by the cabin, that sort of stuff. So I got that from them for Christmas. And then also this is really, really good. I want to share that because I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think she's been rolling. Also dropped, Sweetener 5 years celebrating, and now you have your REM REM lipstick out as well. And you see that I don't have the REM perfume, but I am ordering that, including the new Cloud Pink that's dropped. And then you got the performance of Honeymoon Avenue, singing just like she did back then, and the daydreaming that comes along with it today. And I just wanted to celebrate it, talking about it. I made a video. So these are some of my other, like my episode 73 and 74 that I posted of my last 73 and 74 episodes podcast that I did. And now Jay Uso is officially out, left the WWE. Same introducing Becky Lynch, Triple H. Because of Jimmy Uso. Now, I bought this tape is from, you have wrapping and tape and things like that for Christmas. Kind of gotten lazy over the last couple of years, wanted to use the bags. It's a lot easier. You're getting the same gift without having all the wrapping and tape and scissors. Just put it in a damn gift bag. It's a lot easier and a lot simple. But of course, like for kids, you want to wrap it up and stuff like that. Like make it memorable, like you did as a kid. But if it's an adult that I'm giving it to, I'm like, it's a gift, but it's going in the bag. Unless you're my niece and nephews or my baby cousins, so I got a lot of them. Then you're not getting anything wrapped up. It takes too much time, and then you got to put the Christmas tree, do ornaments, you got to put all these lights up, and all this other stuff. I will spend the time to do all that on Halloween because I'm a big Halloween freak. But as far as Christmas, yeah, love family, friends, and love Christmas presents, and love just being with family. It's not about the gifts, but the gifts are a pain in the ass. The tree and ornaments are a pain in the ass, especially when you have to do it and carry it up out of the basement and do all. I mean, it was like the biggest tree they could find. So I got this tape, anyway, specifically from that to do this. You see my bloodline shirt marking off Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso has got to be the biggest scumbag of the earth right now. And quote me or stop me if I'm wrong, which ain't nobody going to because I'm right and I'm on point. Jimmy Uso is the biggest scumbag on earth to do that to his own flesh and blood, to do that to his own brother, stab him in the heart, not the back, stab him in the heart. Sure, we've had like the family members like Roman Reigns doing that to Jimmy Uso. We've had the Bella Twins do that, and it's bad when the Bella Twins, their twin sisters, fighting each other, beating the hell out of each other so much that, a member that wasn't even a part of the wrestling was just there for an interview, got hurt. And now you have this over here happening. Jey Uso, I think, like I've been saying, he's been holding it down. He's been the one doing the matches, while Jimmy's either not there or not helping him when Jey Uso's getting taking all the bullets. Jey Uso's been the one that's been by Roman Reigns' side since day one. Jey Uso's been the one that's been able to hold it down and been the reason why Roman's been undefeated and been champion in the first place. That I like Jey Uso. I support Jey Uso. I'm still trying to get over the fact that Jey Uso will not be on in the WWE as he quit right now. Hoping that he will return soon. Maybe around WrestleMania time or before that. Now this kind of gives like Jey Uso time, spend with your family, like your wife, your kids, be with your family and outside of work and kind of spend that time with them, and then maybe come back around WrestleMania time and throw down the Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso match I was talking about at WrestleMania. But it's one thing to stab a tag team partner or a friend or a family member in the back. It's another thing to do it to your own flesh and blood. I mean, he shares a womb with you, shares a blood with you, slash flesh with you. You got the same damn face because you're identical twins. And then you stab him. That's why I said it's in the heart, not the back. If it was a tag team partner, you stab them in the back. If it was a friend, you stab them in the back. Even when Roman Reigns, your own cousin, which is bad enough that your family don't have your back, then nobody will have your back. You share a room and you've been down the WWE career together since day one, and you decide to stab him straight in the heart like an ice pick, just going straight into you. Yeah, not happy about it. We're trying to get over it. We're trying to move on. I will say that the Bloodline is the most dominated, strongest team that they ever did have dominate SmackDown is the Bloodline, and nothing and nobody, whether it's the past or the history teams. You have dominate tag teams and teams like DX Generation. You had like with Hulk Hogan and Razor and Big Daddy Diesel. You had them dominate teams like them all fighting over spot when wrestling first started, and then DX always brought like the entertainment that came along with it. You had Revolution with Randy Orton, John Cena, Ric Flair, and Batista. They brought the entertainment. They are dominant individuals. They brought the accolades, see why we watch wrestling, why we want to enjoy it at the same time and have a good laugh at the same time of wrestling. But the Bloodline, I believe they stretched that out so much. They've been in there for 4 decades, over 40 years. All these Hall of Famers, all these legendaries, all these family, bringing it to entertainment like The Rock, bringing it to domination like Roman Reigns, bringing it to athleticism like the Usos, bringing the championships that puts the gold not only where the money, where the mouth is. You come from playing football together, and now you are dominant in a ring together as the Bloodline, like Solo, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. I know that Roman and the Usos played football together. I know that they have dominated since day one together. And then, they came and helped each other out a little bit in the family in the wrestling ring before they became the Bloodline officially. But Jimmy and Jimmy have been there since day one by each other's side as the Usos, as tag team partners, as championships partners, holding them together, being there since day one, before you're even born. You share in the same room and you share the same blood in the flesh, and then you're going to do that to him. Stab him straight in the heart so bad that, sure, he got his revenge on you, but now, I kind of feel like now, as we all know, we're like, we was liking Jay, so we was liking that clemency of him. We've been liking him wrestle and see him, you've seen him over the years. You got this whole bloodline and variety of superstars, variety of competitors, of individuals that are this big old family, like bloodline family outside of wrestling, actually, family, not just saying it. But, and we've seen it and we watched it and we're like, this is our favorite. These are some good times, like for each of them, they have their individual things. Like Nia Jax being a dominated woman because she's been in rings with both women and men. Tamina being dominated from her father and now becoming her own champion. Roman Reigns being dominated, no matter how many people is against him, he was able to break through. That's why we call him the big dog, the tribal chief now. And the Usos always sticking by each other like twins, like brothers should. And that, is one thing for Solo to come in as your brother and not be on your team. Already picked his side that he wants to be with your cousin instead of you as his brother. It was another for your own twin brother to stab you right in his heart. You're supposed to trust him. You're supposed to be there for him. You're supposed to have his back, and then you do that to him. And so I would have cut that out, but then I wouldn't be able to wear it in public, public nudity, all that stuff. Show a little skin more than your arms, your neck, and legs. Everyone goes crazy. So I'm not happy about it. I don't support it. I support Jey Uso. Hope to see him back in the ring. Enough said of that. As far as that goes, I want to stop that and address that right there and then. This is a little video I like to, sometimes I rap about when I'm making stuff, or I just like to make it in general. Because you guys know, like, outside of hosting my own interviews, hosting my podcast, entertaining acting rather than studio time. I also like to cook. I don't like to cook, but I can cook. Got his nephews and family and cousins I was talking about. I know you probably hear my dog right there barking because he's like, oh, I can't see you. I can't see what's going on. He's out in the living room out there. And there is the cloud, and now the cloud pink one I was talking about. I think the cloud pink one will smell like maybe a cherry, maybe this time. But we'll see. I'll get it and I'll test it out and see. And then I think maybe the REM one tastes would if you tasted something sweet, it would also smell sweet because of like I was talking about the lavender with the moonlight one. But we'll find out. I'll find out and see. Got a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll get it from a birthday or soon after. Definitely will check it out and see. So I just wanted to celebrate that. Celebrate, the new perfume out. We call Pink. The new REM with the let's say the new foundation of Sweetener celebrating 5 years. And now after 10 years, you're celebrating Daydreaming today and Honeymoon Avenue on the performances. And then this would be between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus for all predictions. I feel like they're kind of bringing the Lita versus Trish Stratus, and now they got Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, just adding Zoe Starks in there. Because Zoe Starks is a great upcoming superstar. She's a former NXT champion. She's a former tag team NXT champion. She stood her grounds on NXT, doing the same thing, getting to work with a Hall of Famer and a legendary on Monday Night Raw like Trish Stratus, six-time women's champion who broke the history, broke the record for a woman to wrestle in a competitive match and not some broad, panty, stupid match or a butterfly title, real championship. Got to hold one half of the tag team women's championships and didn't, win it because she attacked before she won. But she got to held it of what she made and what she created, what she was a part of, what women have been thriving for since day one, and now officially getting that so much that everyone wanted to see a whole women's revolution, and now we have a women's revolution pay-per-view specifically for that. And they were bringing in the horsewomen, like as you know, as Mercedes Monet, now Becky Lynch, and you have Bailey, and you have Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair wanting to break history, break record, become the first ever superstar to be 17-time women's champion, male champion, because she'd be the first one to become 17-time champion. You thought Ric Flair holding the mountain at 16-time champion. No one's been able to do that until John Cena got to tie the record. Now Charlotte Flair, what better than Charlotte Flair where it started with the Flairs to be not only the first superstar, we had a male superstar like Ric Flair going to be 16-time champion, right? And now we have another male like John Cena being 16-time champion. They get to share that mountaintop. So now how about a first and only superstar, but a first woman getting to break a record and become 17-time world champion? That Charlotte Flair, what better than her to do that? That she was talking about. You're right, that's coming. Rhea and Raquel's women's championship title when Raquel gets fully recovered to do that as Rhea Ripley, trying to hold down the Judgment Day together. She's got a lot on her plate as women's champion. I would focus on that. And if Finn Balor and Damian Priest want to throw down, let them throw down to see who the leader is. I mean, we all know who the real leader is. It ain't Finn Balor or Damian Priest. It's Mommy. And whether they boo or hate on Dominic Mysterio, he is a North American champion, won the whole championship belt. Unlike Finn Balor, who wants to call himself the leader, he's the only one not holding gold around his waist. And he can blame them all he wants, but they've done nothing but been there for him. It sure is funny they all been there for each other. And we got North American champion Dominic. We got Mommy, who's women's champion. We all love Mommy. And we got Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. The only one not holding his leave, the only one not holding his part and a part of this team and a part of this family. This Finn Balor, you keep getting chance after chance, and you keep coming up short, and you can blame over nobody except yourself. You see, and then the Judgment Day wasn't on the same page. They couldn't win the match, and then when they was on the same page, they dominated everybody. So, keyword: stay on each other's page. Stay on the same page would be the clean sentence or line or verb. And that would be wrap up my Raw prediction for 2 weeks ago Raw prediction, and why I wanted to touch on what's been going on the last 2 weeks and Wicked Days and how I feel about it. Yeah, I still like it enough. SpongeBob, Transformers, Ninja Turtles can never be too old to have fun or enjoy the things that are fun. And so that would wrap up for that Raw prediction and over for the last 2 weeks and the celebrations and discuss about the last 2 weeks. And then we had on After the Bell, Chelsea Green, one half of the Tag Team Women's Champion, Dewdrop, who didn't say but told that Sonya Deville is injured, but Chelsea Green can hold down the Tag Team Women's Championship belts with Dewdrop, which I think they got another tag team in line after them since that attacked her, not asking but telling her, I'm your new partner and this is what's going to happen. So that was both on After the Bell. Uh, if not, the best of friends, at least they're tag team right now, the tag team champions right now, some kind of alliance to maybe form a friendship together between Jujop and Chelsea that you normally wouldn't suspect or see, or it kind of doesn't seem like. It seems like Jujop is more aggressive, uh, more like aggressive, like stronger competitor that will come out like a wolf, and Chelsea's more of, hey, I can hold it down when it comes to wrestling, but she's more of the like, oh, I like cameras, I like pretty type of person, and to combine these two personalities, to combine them two together into a tag team formation and make them tag team champions is really odd, but it's happening and we can see it and it can form. That's why I was talking about that form of alliance with maybe perhaps that Shayna Blazer, who's a total different personality, totally different person than Becky Lynch is. That maybe she'll help her out some kind of form team, and we will see that Becky Lynch and Shayna Blazer versus Sonya Deville and Trish Stratus in the tag team action. Perhaps this coming Monday Night Raw, maybe, or some Monday Night Raws down the road before we see Trish Stratus throw down in a steel cage match with Becky Lynch, and then maybe that's at Payback. That's when we'll see maybe Lita return to get her revenge on Trish Stratus for attacking her and help Becky Lynch out, because Zoe Starks. It's not going to stop her from getting involved into this match. Nothing has, no match has, and nobody has. That it's going to happen. It's going to be a 2-on-1. The question is, who's going to help Becky, or how is Becky going to get out of the situation? That is the question. Two questions swirling around our heads with Payback coming up, uh, and then also as that's coming up with different theories that could happen as continue on Monday Night Raw with the Monday Night Raw roster to Payback to that match, and until that happens. With that being said, we've also had Kofi Kingston. His birthday that's passed, 15-time tag team champion, WWE champion, 4-time Intercontinental champion, 3-time United States champion, returning to Monday Night Raw after some kind of injury that he's had, winning a tag team with his boy Xavier Woods, who's host of Up Up Down Down, winning that tag team action and already in line to become 16-time tag team champions as they, did a competitive match, and then the Viking Raiders got involved and kind of broke it up. So I'm thinking maybe a triple threat tag team match will happen between them for the tag team championship belts. Opportunity to see who will verse Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the Raw tag team championship belts. With that being said, also we had Sami Zayn on as character, a former member of the Bloodline. Speaking of Sami Zayn, he's been an Intercontinental champion. He's been a part of the Bloodline. He's been on NXT dominating with Kevin Owens by his side as Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And he was also an African there. I'm going to show my Raw results before we get a little bit ahead of that. And Chelsea Kane and Drop trying to share in that tag team, that alliances as tag team women's champions together on the bump, along with LA Knight, yeah, who is a megastar of Friday Night SmackDown and has been showing the Miz. There's a new guy here, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, and he is the megastar named LA Knight. So you see, the Bloodline dominating SmackDown over these years, and now that's kind of gone as Jey Uso's gone. Jimmy is on his own. Roman and Solo kind of seem like they're having some kind of formation, like Tribal Chief coming up, but it seems like everyone's going in separate ways. Intercontinental Champion dominating. Intercontinental Champion. Can Gunther remain the longest Intercontinental Champion in WWE history, or will Chad Gaberson, who gave him his first loss on Raw, become next Intercontinental Champion? I mean, you had Chad Gaberson, the first superstar, to give Gunther officially his first ever loss. So who says he won't become Intercontinental Champion before Gunther remains that? Or we'll have Gunther break that history, remain longest Intercontinental Champion in WWE history, but then Chad Gaberson could take it from him, become the next new Intercontinental Champion, and say, hey, you know what? I give you your first loss on Raw, which is more than what any superstar can say that's been in the ring with you. I want another shot and become Intercontinental Champion, no matter what kind of members of the Imperial try to get involved. That I think he will have backup to make sure that doesn't happen. Come a 3-on-1 situation. And the rival coming between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. It started way back before Night of Champions with the rival between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. That Trish Stratus is a one of the horsewomen dominated of NXT. Trish Stratus is a Hall of Fame legendary that created that 6-time Women's Championship reigns to be able to dominate with some 4 dominating horsewomen like that in NXT and in WWE now. And now she's been double Banks. She's been Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, 2 belt Becks. She's a fire red hair last year that we know. Always kicking some ass, as she would say, on Monday Night Raw. And Trish Stratus still has it, even though people boo her now, but some people still appreciate and thank Trish, because it's kind of hard to say that Trish doesn't have the talent, doesn't have what it takes, because she's already been there, she's already done it, she's already created it. So Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch have a lot in common to be throwing down from a tag team and now in this dominated rival on Raw. Same with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, both having a point to prove, both being in the ring with first ever Universal Champions, making history, and now World Heavyweight Champion history, and now both dominating as, Seth Rollins the dominating team as the Shield, Finn Balor doing the same thing on the Judgment Day, and now individual superstars who have created championships like Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion on their own, Universal Champion on their own as individuals on Raw. There's you drop reminding Chelsea, I'm not asking. I'm telling you we're tag team partners. If you want to be tag team champions, I'm your partner to hold that down. And there's the altercation between the Judgment Day falling apart, and that's why they came up short, because they couldn't stay on the same page. But then they dominated when they was on the same page. Attacking anybody and everything that moved on Raw. And then we had Chelsea and G-Dot, like I was talking about, on the bump as tag team champions, as a tag team partner, a form of, if not friends, alliance going on to be able to hold the tag team, to be able to dominate as a tag team on Monday Night Raw, while Sonya Deville is recovering and is injured right now. And then we had LA Knight, like I was talking about, on the bump being the megastar. And this is the 5 years I was talking about the Celebrity Sweetener. And then this is going to be the NXT. No pain, no game when it comes to working out or training. Tag Team NXT champions remain as such. Now, this NXT video was a lot better than my last NXT video. NXT Tag Team champions remaining as such with Tony, and that no one is going to get in between that. And also, Ivory looked like she was going to help, and then she kind of went like, no, I'm not going to let the intimidation of this team take me down or take me out or change any of that fact. And obviously, reminding them who she is around there, whether her team may be gone, but she's still here as an individual, as a competitor, as a superstar, can break skulls, can break bones, and she earned that right as an athlete superstar for a reason. And Tiffany as women's champion on NXT. For how long, though, is the question. But she keeps proving every time. Leslie picking up his fail for a victory, triple threat victory, and also Corbin getting a challenge, a big challenge since he's coming in NXT. North American champion Dominic always having mommy there by his side. So as you can see, that NXT video was a lot better than my last NXT video. My Raw predictions outweighed my SmackDown prediction, but then my SmackDown results outweighed my Raw results. So I guess it just depends on what week. That's why I do it all, because every week it changes and it flips, or it kind of remains the same, and or it just dominates all, or it kind of one than the other, and then it flips the other side of the way. So I just continue to do them all, to have them all in contact as far as Raw prediction, Raw results, SmackDown prediction, SmackDown results. I even included A&W this week rather than NXT, and then last week was NXT. I'm going to show you right here our first ever Texas Chainsaw match right here. Talking about bringing the horror movies into the wrestling ring. Supernatural. And things like that. Keep it intact. And we also had Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys that created the Flying High Flyers as tag team, as brothers, in the ring with each other. And had altercations against each other too. That, see, this kind of stuff happened with family against each other too. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, any kind of rival altercation could happen in wrestling business. Happened with the Bella Twins, happened with Jimmy and Jay, happened with Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. They're sisters, they're brothers, they're twins. These guys are brothers, and it still happened. Now, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, any kind of alliance or rival could happen at any time and any point in the wrestling business. And of course, Chris Jericho reminding, after 36 years of friendship being destroyed, reminding why he is a dominant former world heavyweight champion. He's been dominating this crew on A&W. Sammy having his back still to even up the odds. Taking it to the next level. And he's the only one that brings a light up, glow in the dark, such a fantastic jacket, can still dominate as a competitor. How about that? We're reminding everyone why he is here. Not for a necessary championship match, but as an individual superstar, that this is a wrestling ring and it will remain as such against whoever and whatever. And with that being said, we can move on to our Last, now we're cutting into the end of the video. There's SmackDown prediction and SmackDown results. Let me see which one's first. SmackDown prediction, SmackDown results between Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle, forming this. Like I said, not this seems like friendship with them in the tag team, and then as far as Chelsea and D-Drop goes, it's more of alliance. That some of that friendship and alliance and backstabbing or being on the same page at least to make things happen for the both of you. That could form and could happen at any time or point. And that's what I was talking about with the tag team with the New Day, how they could be 16-time tag team champions, make it happen. Um, and then I was talking about how, well, since that got interrupted by the Viking Raiders, it could be a triple threat for the tag team championship belt against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the Raw and SmackDown tag team championship belts. That either way, it was a win-win with the teams that was involved at the time until the Viking Raiders got involved. Now it could become a triple threat tag team, which I believe it's a tornado tag team, could be too, where you don't have to tag out, you kind of just tangle until somebody gets a pin for or a submission or anything like that, but no disqualification for your team in this match. So anywhere between there, we got Payback coming up, could up it a little bit, but it's kind of hoping for tag team belts to be on the line at Payback, not a match for the tag team belts at Payback. We've already have our World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins gonna defend it against Shinsuke at Payback. We've already got Trish Stratus in a steel cage match against Becky Lynch at Payback, and now wondering about this tag team at Payback. And I believe Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship belt against Raquel at Payback. We've already have them already lined up for matches and Paybacks matches. So now it's just a matter of what other matches will be added to Payback or within Raw and SmackDown until Payback happens, which is coming up. So that would be my SmackDown prediction. And then this, now we're going to go back to the other video that was before, because this was the SmackDown before. We also had, on After the Bell, we had Austin Theory, a former, once upon a time, like one of the youngest, like Randy Orton, WWE champion in history. The youngest Mr. Money in the Bank, like we had dominate Mr. Money in the Banks like Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and John Cena. They was dominate with the Money in the Bank, but Randy Orton and Seth Rollins had to officialize it by becoming champion after being Mr. Money in the Bank. So, like I was saying, that Austin Theory has history with Randy Orton, like being the youngest WWE champion in history, like him, holding the Money in the Bank, accomplishing it for the championship belt, like Seth Rollins, who he's been in the ring on the same team with too, and that he's been in the ring, with Rey Mysterio and Edge and won over them, including John Cena himself. That he's created that history, he's created his own path to being a Hall of Famer, a legendary, and an individual superstar. Whether he has the United States Championship and got mad that Rey Mysterio is the United States Champion or not, which possibly like we'll have Austin Theory and Rey go for the United States Championship belt. Maybe on this coming SmackDown, and then we'll see maybe him and Grayson Waller will go for it on the following SmackDown, or see which one after he beats both of them and they can compete or something to get that payback moment for the United States Champion against Rey Mysterio. So, a little bit too early to try to form that. I'm just saying that's what he's got on his back right now. Two guys after him like that with SmackDown coming up tonight. Rey Mysterio's got Theory and Grayson Waller both after him for the United States Championship belt as SmackDown goes on tonight. I will do my SmackDown prediction officially. This is just a little bit of taste, and my SmackDown video, and then I will also do another podcast for this past week as well. Thank you guys for watching, like, and subscribe. Inviting the rest of you who haven't watched, like, follow, subscribe on Instagram, YouTube. I got my Raw predictions out. I got my Raw results out. I got my SmackDown predictions out and even updated SmackDown videos. I got this podcast for the last 2 weeks you guys can watch. I got some posts on Instagram and YouTube. Like I was celebrating, like I said, with Ariana Grande, Honeymoon Avenue, celebrating 5 years, and also there's a new Cloud perfume, and also daydreaming on that performance on my page and story. I celebrated Kansas City Chiefs picking up their victory to make up for last time over the Cardinals, and I've also talked about the Steelers dominate their team as well as it's football season. Philadelphia Eagles with Celtic Warriors, Sheamus working out with the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Detroit Lions that Detroit will play tonight, and the Eagles came up short, but WrestleMania will be held since I think they said 25 or 30 years for the first time in Philadelphia. I think that arena actually those tickets are now sold and completely sold out in the arena that I was talking about and mentioning. So I think that's pretty much on and over. So with that being said, I wanted to talk about and push that on there. I'm gonna show you my last video that I have of the SmackDown actually results, and then that will be the closing out. Yeah, I like to play Subway Surfer outside of the podcast and actually too, and workouts too. A little bit of updation when I got back. Like I got all these characters and coins and updates. Just wanted to share that. Those of you who are like me like to play video games or watch anime outside of like careers or host on video podcasts and entertain rap like I do outside of work. Rhea Ripley's as our women's champion trivia questions. NXT UK, Rap Food, and NXT Women's Champion, and now Raw Women's Champion, dominating and holding that she is the real leader of the Judgment Day. And Edge celebrating the 25 years Hall of Fame legendary in the WWE, that they have denied him to still work for the WWE, but probably because he's already had 2 neck injuries, came back at the Royal Rumble, he's been in there for 25 years, he's already a Hall of Famer, he's already a legendary, and he's already put, tag team championship, world heavyweight champion, winning Mr. Money in the Bank, winning like world heavyweight championships. I mean, not Mr. Money in the Bank, world heavyweight championship. I meant to say, but Edge has put a lot of years, a lot of competitors, a lot of memories in the ring that, and even with coming back after a neck injury, come back returning the Royal Rumble, and then you still dominate on SmackDown. That there ain't nothing you have to prove. So I think that's maybe why they denied it. Like, time to hook up the boots, bud. You are a Hall of Famer. You are a legendary. You put 25 years in this business. Nobody can take that away from you. And of course, getting a championship in honor of him, specifically to celebrate that. And of course, Austin Theory got a chip. Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship belt that possibly he could get a rematch tonight on SmackDown or something that battle for it maybe, and then maybe or him and Grayson, and then Grayson Waller maybe next week against Rey Mysterio, or have Grayson Waller and Theory battle it out tonight, and then have Rey Mysterio versus the winner for the United States Championship at Payback. And Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair forming, like I said, they was the rivals, and since the NXT 3 years ago, and now they winning a tag team together. And that's the second time that they worked as a tag team when Charlotte won. So it's not some kind of alliance, it's maybe a friendship building. And now Bianca has won this one. That frenemies, friends can become enemies or enemies become frenemies, however that works. Or even, doesn't matter who you are, where you are, that it could also come back to family and friend that as well. So that it doesn't have a label on it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to watch, like, follow, and subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. Check out my latest posts and videos on Instagram. I've updated the page, the story, names, and all that good stuff. You can go ahead and follow me and check out the videos and stories. I also have some of my updated new highlights. You guys can also watch this podcast covering the last 2 weeks, before and after thoughts with Queen Crazy K. And be sure to follow, subscribe, check out my other videos. I some predictions of Raw. I just updated a Raw video that I just put out today with the Raw predictions over the last weeks. And then also, I have SmackDown prediction results. I got the last NXT for that NXT, but then instead of this past NXT this week, which would be the third week, then I put an A&W video for the Texas Chainsaw first ever like a match and here match type of thing. So thank you guys for watching. Today. Queen KZK is out. Peace. I will be doing a tonight. This is for the last 2 weeks podcast. So I will be doing. Keep your eye out. Like I said, subscribe, watch, and like on Instagram and YouTube because I will be dropping Friday Night SmackDown prediction tonight and a Friday Night SmackDown result video tonight. And I will be doing my podcast over this last week, whether it's tonight or sometime tomorrow or at least by Monday. So at least by Monday, you have a SmackDown prediction from me. You have a SmackDown result video from me, and you'll have this past week's podcast from me. And of course, I'll be updating for my nephew who's turning 2 years old's birthday party this week as well, this weekend as well. It's a Spider-Man theme. He's in Spider-Man. So you'll be hearing that on Instagram and YouTube. Have an eye out, have a look out, have a follow, subscribe, so you don't miss anything good or interesting that you want to see, that you want to hear, or anything like that. It will be all done by Monday because then Monday I start my new job and I do raw prediction and raw results. So obviously I don't want to pile up on each other and things like that. So sometimes I will do half an hour podcast for last week. Sometimes I will put them into an hour, like a double knockout. Sometimes I'll put it into a triple threat to make it swirl a little bit, an hour and 30 minutes. If it goes over, like this was supposed to be a half an hour, it's actually reached an hour, over an hour, and that's fine as long as it reaches the minute mark that we're trying to reach. If it goes longer, great. More information, more updates, and something that needs to be addressed, talked about. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to watch, like, follow, and subscribe both Instagram and YouTube. Have your eyes out. Queen Kids K out. Peace.